Place the two wooden boxes near the installation. Unpack them and the accessories. It is best to put screws and small parts in a box. Leave the drive tower and the platform on the delivered pallet. Check that the lifting height on site corresponds to the plan. This is necessary to make sure that the assembly with the dimensions given in the drawing is possible. Check the underground at the upper and lower stop for evenness. If the underground is uneven, level it out using washers. Mark the approximate position of the drive tower. The relevant dimensions are 170, 960 and 170 millimeters. In this way, you check whether there is enough space for the drive tower. Mark the plates on the front of the drive tower and unscrew them. Now you can attach the sling to the pre-installed eye bolts on the drive tower. Lift the drive tower to the installation site using a suitable lifting device. The load is approximately 350 kilograms. Position the drive tower at the previously marked position and fasten it temporarily. Do not unhook the lifting gear yet. Align the tower horizontally using a mounting lever. When the drive tower is aligned, fasten it at the upper stop at least 4 times using M10 screws. Use a suitable spacer for overhangs on balconies. You can now safely unhook the sling and remove the eye bolts. Next, remove the lowest cover on the front of the drive tower. Align the tower horizontally to the front and side using a mounting lever. Check the lifting height and the evenness at the upper stop again. If the drive tower is too high, this can be compensated with the overrun plate, or the door frame can be moved downwards. If the lifting height is too low, correct this by lifting the door frame. Secure the overrun plate with the M5 countersunk screws included in the scope of delivery. Now, drill 4 holes to attach the tower to the foundation. There are 2 fixing points at the front and 2 fixing points at the back. Depending on the conditions on site, the charger has to be mounted either inside or outside the drive tower. The video shows how it is mounted in the drive tower using the bracket supplied. Plug in the charger and switch on the red main switch next to the control unit. Also, switch on the power for the charger's supply line. The light on the charger begins to glow. The batteries are supplied with power from now on and are continuously charged. The charger indicates this with an orange blinking light. The safety switches of the lower door are supplied bridged works. This is necessary in order to be able to move the drive without a platform. Make sure that the upper door is closed. Unscrew the cover plate for emergency operation at the upper stop. Activate the emergency operation by moving the black toggle switch to position 2. The lower button moves the drive system downwards, the upper button upwards. This step is necessary to set the appropriate mounting height when connecting the platform. Move the platform on the wooden pallet in front of the drive tower using a lift truck or other lifting device. Position the platform in front of the mounting plates of the drive tower. Use emergency operation to move the plates to the correct height. Remove the cable ties on both sides and thread the cables outwards. Push the platform on the pallet towards the drive tower. Use a screwdriver to press the mounting plates into the correct position. Open the door on the platform using the emergency unlocking key supplied. Now, screw the supplied hexagon socket screws, M10 by 15 mm, with spring washer from the inside into the holes provided to mechanically connect the platform and drive tower. Take care not to damage any cables. Thread the 2-pole plug on the left-hand side onto the inside and connect it to the cable in the platform. The electrical bridge can now be removed. We recommend using a retractable spring for the following step. Now, thread 4 10-pin connectors for the platform control on the right-hand side, first to the inside of the platform and then downwards. The 4-pin connector must also be threaded inwards and connected to a separate plug. Now, plug in the cables in the correct order. Pay attention to the labeling of the cables. Position the cables properly and secure them with cable ties. Now, move the platform upwards using the emergency operation switch so that the pallet can be removed. Emergency operation can then be deactivated. From this point on, you move the lift using the controls in the platform. At the beginning, the platform moves to the lower limit switch once, regardless of which button is pressed. This is pre-programmed at the factory. Please note that the doors must always be closed for the lift to start moving. If the lifting height at the installation site is exactly the same as specified in the drawing, no adjustments are necessary. If the height differs, it must be readjusted during installation. There are two ways to set the lifting height: with limit switches at the top and bottom, or with an encoder. We recommend using the end switches for this. The alternative with the encoder is explained below. All screws must be screwed from the inside and are located on the right-hand side when viewed from below. To access the upper end switch, you must first loosen the screws on the door frame. Then remove the top cover plate and the side plate on the door. The example shows how to proceed if the lifting height is set too high at the factory. Mark the current position of the end switch with a pencil. Bring the platform to the desired lifting height. To set the upper stop, open the screws of the end switch so that it can be moved easily. Push the end switch down until it switches. Then tighten the screws again. Mark this position as well. To avoid errors, also readjust the door zone switch. To estimate the required distance, use the two markings you made on the end switch and move the door zone switch the same distance. Caution: make sure that the door zone switch is always deactivated before the end switch. The speed travel switch plate is located next to the door zone switch. It activates the switch for speed reduction at the stop. If an earlier or later activation is required, the plate can also be moved accordingly. Finally, reinstall all the covers and tighten the door frame. The lower stop is set using the same principle. The position of the lower stop must be set so that the safety floor is not activated even with a heavy load. Setting the lifting height with the encoder is necessary for units with more than 2 stops, but can always be used as an alternative to the end switches if desired. If this option is not relevant for you, you can skip to the next chapter. With this option, the lower end switch and the 2 door zone switches must still be set. Caution: make sure that the door zone switches are always deactivated before the stops. Make sure that the emergency lowering is deactivated and both doors are closed. Move the platform to the lower stop using the remote control or the control unit in the platform. It will move slowly. Once at the lower stop, the door unlocks. Enter the platform and close the door again. Press the white service switch on the control board to enter programming mode. Navigate to Station Configuration and press Enter. Now select Position Detection and press Enter. Then select Encoder and press Enter again. To start the learning drive, navigate to the Test Drive Stat option. Confirm by pressing the Enter button twice. The following message appears on the display. ST0 greater than 0. Press the command button on the platform to move upwards. We recommend stopping approximately 50 millimeters before reaching the upper stop, and then continuing the drive. The lift moves more slowly as it continues, making it easier and more precise to determine the stop. Stop when you reach the desired height. The door does not open as the programming has not been completed. Press the Enter button on the board for 5 seconds to finish the learning drive and then confirm again with Enter. Deactivate the white service switch to finally complete the programming. Move the platform to the lower stop. It moves slowly. Programming with the encoder is now complete. On the next journey, speed control is active and the lift stops at the previously set upper end stop. Carry out a test drive and check that the safety features are working properly. These are contact bars at the rear of the platform, free movement of the safety floor, emergency stop switch, smooth opening and closing of the door locks, platform lighting and anti-trap protection at the upper stop. Install the supplied remote controls at a location that is easily accessible for the customer. Repeat the process if several controls were ordered. Test whether the operation works smoothly. Screw the cover plate for emergency operation back on at the upper stop. Attach the cover caps and locking screws at both doors. Continue with the covers on the inside of the platform. Now, reattach the covers on the outside of the platform. Finally, reattach the plates to the front of the drive tower. Pay attention to the previously made markings. Finally, clean the unit with a suitable cleaning product. The Sigma is now installed and can be handed over to the users. Lehner wishes you great success with the installation.